with two dogs that shed. Yeah, dog hair. Come on, come on. All right, so we had some technical issues also yesterday with Thrive card, but they've all been sorted now, thank goodness. So we should have no issues today. Oh, see what I did when I was not thinking properly. 1 second. All right. I love how everyone is so kind and accommodating and patient with me. Really appreciate it. Okay, so we should be good. We should be streaming live. And let me just go back to my Zoom room. Where am I? Right. 1 sec. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Alara Canfield Show, the Awakened Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It is my greatest wish, desire, and intention to share these wonderful speakers and guests who join me on a regular basis 2 or 3 times a week, and they come and share their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their processes, their channeling, their connection with spirit, so that we all can sometimes have a different perspective, open up our consciousness, expand our awareness as well, and really thrive in our lives. That's why we are here, to thrive, not just to learn, but yes, lots of lessons to learn as well, but to thrive and have joy in this embodiment. And so if you are new to my show, if you're new to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe so that you can watch all the live and on-demand shows that are here for you. And today, my good friend Theresa Vee is back with us. And today we are going to be talking about embracing your gifts. And so some of what we're going to discuss today is how to find and connect with your gifts and why you might have been disconnected in the first place, making the space for grace and allowing ourselves to shift and grow, the 3 fears that keep us from fully embracing our natural gifts, the special time we are in, and how much support we have, even by realms that are notorious for avoiding humans, the 5 steps of embracing our gifts and how we can keep expanding on them, the superpowers that lead us right to our purpose, and of course, so much more. And for those of you who do not know Theresa, she's been with us, oh my goodness, so many times. We love having her here on the show with us. I always have so many ahas when she comes on the show and talks to us. And of course, her connection to the angels is really, she's so connected and she's so to the point. And they always give such wonderful, valuable information and processes for everyone, right? So please do be able to receive the wisdom, and if there's any processes that come through, receive the processes too. So Theresa, like I said, for those of you who do not know her, she helps spiritually led, empathetic people increase their vibrancy, health, and wellness so they can have more energy and feel more alive, on purpose, and fulfilled. She teaches tangible tools to break free of cycles of overwhelm and overgiving so that people can get back into the flow of the synchronicities and miracles that are their birthright, heal into the magic of their divine perfection, and live their purpose for being here. Theresa is a channel of love and leader of spiritual revolution, reaching over 1 million people through her speaking engagements, workshops, readings, and sessions. In addition to her extensive spiritual training, she's also a certified and well-credentialed holistic health and wellness professional and Ayurvedic health counselor. So she is multi-talented for sure. So I'm so glad that you're here with us, Theresa, and I'm so excited for our conversation today. So please join me, everyone, in welcoming Theresa back to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Alara. I've so been looking forward to this.
Oh, me too. I feel like it's been so long since we've had a conversation, and I always love your energy and your wisdom that comes through, and of course, the angels' presence here on the show. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. So
thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's like, it always feels like the perfect time when we gather. And so I love that that is the case.
Yes, absolutely. I think we were supposed to get together last week, but things happened. And so it's this week. But you know what? Everything is always happening in divine perfect timing.
Absolutely.
go with the flow, right?
Absolutely. That's actually something that connects to today's topic perfectly, because, that's something that we always push ourselves on. Like, we should be further along our process. We should be doing XYZ instead of what we are doing. And it's all divinely perfect timing. So I love that we're starting with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of takes the
Yeah.
pressure off when you realize and like really know that everything that happens is perfect, and everything that is happening in the future is also in divine timing and is perfect. And so we don't have to constantly push ourselves. That's a message for me. Constantly
Hmm.
push ourselves to the point of exhaustion. It's especially so. Um,
100%.
Today we're talking about our gifts, embracing our gifts, and I know a lot of people always have this question about their gifts, right? Not being connected to their gifts, not knowing what gifts they even have, etc. Or some people would like to know how they can strengthen their gifts, right? So
Yeah.
so let's talk about it, because there's so much in this conversation today that is important and relevant, and I know we're going to have lots of questions. So if you do have a question for Theresa, you can raise your hand or you can type your question into the chat. So let's start with how to find and connect with your gifts, because like I said, a lot of people have that question, and sometimes it is true that we do feel disconnected,
Yeah.
even though there might be times where I'm like, oh, I'm totally in the flow, I'm receiving messages, I'm feeling the presence, and then all of a sudden it's like it's silent, there's crickets,
Yeah.
what's going on, right?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of reasons that could be happening, but one of the things that I find in our community is actually what you just shared about how you push yourself to the point of exhaustion sometimes. And we all do that. And one of the things that happens is when we get so wrapped up in all that everyone else wants and needs, in all that we feel we need to be and how we need to show up for everyone else, we start becoming everything to everyone. Right. So we know that for my dad, I have to show up this way. For my job, I have to show up this way. Like, there's all these little pieces of us that we pick and choose and show. And then the pieces we're missing, we figure out how to adopt them. And so this is one of the ways that we lose our connection to who we truly are in the first place. What our natural gifts are is that we start adapting to situations and to what other people need. We start doing this like morph dance in the world and showing what's appropriate in certain situations. And that's part of what disconnects us in the first place. But there are more things than that. And I think that's actually a really good place for us to kind of start this conversation, is like, why do we kind of disconnect in the first place, And I think that when we look at overwhelm, like a lot of times we have this fear, we're constantly overwhelmed, we're really tired. If I am more of who I truly am, if I'm showing myself, if I am radiating this light, people are going to find me. And I already have more on my plate than I can deal with. So let me kind of keep that in, rein it in, keep it small so people can't find me. Then there's another piece that's sort of like, sometime in childhood, this usually happens. And we have this fear of outshining. We shine ourselves in childhood and we learn from those around us. This is not appropriate. Can you please tone it down? You're too this, you're too sensitive, you're too vibrant, you're too loud, like whatever the case is. And then we shut that part of ourselves down, or we learn to tone it down and to mute it, and that it's not acceptable. So that's another piece that disconnects us from who we naturally are. And then we also have this fear that if we step into who we are, what we're supposed to be doing at a deeper level, that we've had this experience in the past when we up level, we lose people in our lives and we go through like this lonely place. And a lot of us are feeling a little bit lonely in the first place, or a little bit disconnected from the community that we really want. And so the fear of stepping more fully into those gifts that we have and that we want and that we know are there is that I'll be even lonelier than I am now. No one will be around. I'll be sitting here all by myself. And I don't know if that connection is enough for me, and so there are those layers. And what happens instead is when we do shine our light, when we do step into who we are, that frequency radiates and people do find us, and the right people find us, and the people who kind of vibrate on that level find us. And that's what's been causing the disconnect in the past. is that we're not vibrating on the level of who we truly are, not embracing our gifts. And so we're putting out this wonky energy that's attracting people who are like almost the people we want to hang out with, but then not really, or relationships that are almost there, but not really. So that's a big piece of the disconnection. So our fears really keep us from connecting. And what we really want is on the very other side of that connection. Like as soon as we embrace ourselves, as soon as we embrace our gifts, everything we've been asking for, everything we've been praying for, desired, is on the other side of that. And that's the big irony of this life, really, you know. So I kind of think it's important to talk about why we disconnect in the first place before we even talk about how we do connect, because correcting some of those things and making slight changes can actually help to connect us in ways we didn't even think of. Is this making sense, Laura?
Oh, absolutely. And like you touched on so many key points that, you know, I've experienced myself, right? Like everybody knows I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time to take on other things right now, right? So I don't really want to. So I'm not putting myself out there. I'm not doing extra stuff because I don't have the time. I physically don't have the time or the mental energy, right?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. So then part of me is like, yeah, I just need to cocoon for a little while so I can get all this stuff done. And then after that, when I'm, you know, freer in my time, yes, absolutely, right? But
Yeah.
can that also be like
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Like I'm thinking like radical self-love. You know, that's what I'm really feeling, is when you are embracing who you are and your mission and what you're here to do. There are times when you are going to need to step back, take a break, do the cocoon, really let yourself reset, realign, and adjust. You know, we were just talking about this before we connected. I'm in that phase now. Like I've taken the summer off to do just that, to realign, to reconnect, to explore, who am I now? How does this work come through me now? You know, and that is radical self-love and radical self-acceptance. And that is so necessary to us truly embracing everything that we desire, all that is true within us, who we truly are, right? The self-care piece of this is so important, because if we continuously run ourselves ragged, trying to be everything to everyone and not restocking our energy, then we can be nothing to no one, including ourselves, right? We have to be that to ourselves first before we can be it to other people in the world. So if we're going to be loving other people, showing them the path to connect with the deepest parts of themselves, then we have to be able to do that ourselves. And what that means is loving ourselves implicitly. Is that what you were thinking? Like, couldn't that just be
absolutely.
self-love? Yeah, exactly.
And it is, but people don't want to hear that. I'll be honest. People don't
I
want to
know.
hear you have to love yourself. You know, you have to take care of yourself. People don't want to hear that anymore. They're like, I don't want to take care of myself. I want to get out there. I want clients. I want my
Right.
business to be like this. I want this, and that. But none of that's going to happen if you are depleted,
Well, part of it is
right?
that we've beaten the term self-care to death, you know,
Yeah.
in every arena of holistics.
Yeah.
So we're at a point where we're so tired of hearing it. And actually, the way we function in communities like this is we're so giving, that we give so much that when it's time for us to do our practices that replenish us, it's actually taking energy from us, because there are so many of them, and we're not letting go of the ones that no longer serve us, right? So if today I'm feeling really tired, and normally I journal, meditate, do yoga, and take a long walk, right? Those are my normal self-care practices. But I'm so tired today, and I force myself to do all of those things. I start to have a resentment towards those things, because they're just taking energy from me now. They're not sourcing me the way I need them to. So that's also, hey, are your self-care practices having a negative impact on you? Are you resisting them? Are you feeling they need to shift and change? Because as you grow, shift, and change, you will outgrow some of these things. And you have to be willing to let them go with love and embrace what would serve you more in this new energy that you are stepping into, you know. And it's not just, oh, this doesn't work for me anymore. Oh, I've outgrown it, you know, not the ego thing. It's thank you so much. I so appreciate all that you've given me, and it's time to let you go. You can serve someone else, and maybe I can even show other people how to do this, but I need something new, you know? And what I love about our gifts is they're hidden in plain sight. right? So if you talk to people who know you best, and I'm talking about friends, people you trust, not the people that you may have incarnated with in your family who have their specific view of you, like your mother, your child, your aunt, like, you are that to those people and you can be nothing more. You go to people who you truly trust and ask them, hey, if you had to give me 3 great qualities about me, what would they be? What would 3 adjectives be that are positive about me? And what you'll start to see is overlap, where people say the same things. That's your gift. It's right there. It's something that's so natural to you that you don't even see it because it's so much a part of you that you assume it's part of everybody. But it's not, right? It's been there since the beginning. It's the thing that people see in you instantaneously that you don't even see in yourself anymore. And so that's really important. And it's important for us to kind of explore those things. And that's how we find them, is by having others mirror that back to us. Or, if you don't have those people in your lives, there are a lot of personality assessments that you can do. And, those things can be super cheesy, but they can also be really enlightening and show you a mirror and all of a sudden just open something within you that makes you understand yourself through a different lens than you've ever looked at yourself through before. And it's, there are a lot of things that we can play with. And that's, I think, what a lot of this is, playing into who we've always been and how that expresses now. Is this making sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. And oh my goodness, it's so relevant right now. It's like, you're right. We don't see what our gifts are ourselves. We can't, because we have our own blinders on, right? So we can't see our own gifts, but only through other people can we see. And then it's like, are we going to accept it? That's the next thing. Because I know if somebody were to say something to me about any of my, I'd be like, no, like I'm not always a good receiver. So it's like, yeah, no, whatever, they're just saying that, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, deep inside as well what they are, if you're willing to look, if you're willing to go within, if you're willing to take that time and be truly honest with yourself and see yourself from the lens of no judgment, right? And just pure observation and just looking. That's why I sometimes get a little frustrated when people say, I don't know what my gifts are. Can you tell me? It's like, no, because you probably know, and you just haven't looked within. You haven't asked yourself. And sometimes, I know for myself, I didn't always know what my gifts were, but they came more and more online once I started using one of the gifts, right? And then as I continued using that one gift, more and more opened up, right? So then my gifts expanded and blah blah blah, etc. But the thing is, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I was like, I don't know. I know I'm a healer of sort, I kind of like working with energy, but I don't know. Right. But that was 10 years ago. Right. So I think if you can talk a little bit about that, that would be great for people to hear, because it's so important for people to do whatever they like, enjoy, etc. first, and do that for a while and see how the other gifts start to come online, start to open up. That was my experience anyways.
That's true. And a lot of times, like, people with their psychic abilities, as they start to open up, right, you start to like do all these things in your life, all these practices, and your abilities start to open up. And we have that one that we want, right? And for most people that I know, it's they want to be able to see. Like, exactly. I want to be able to see angels. I want to be able to see energy, right? But maybe that's not your predominant gift. Maybe your predominant gift is just intuitively knowing what someone needs, or maybe it's hearing. Maybe you hear messages, right? And yeah, you can still want that other one. But when you lean into what's available to you now and embrace it and really start working on it and get to a place where you trust it. I always say trust it like 90%. The other ones start opening because you're in trust. You trust yourself implicitly, like you were saying with working with energy. When you start to be in session with people and you trust the guidance that's coming through because you have seen over time the impact that it has on your energy sessions, then you can lean into that guidance more and more can open up because your system, your higher self, and your guides know that you're going to trust these messages
Mhm.
more than you would have had you not had that experience before. So that's what I always say. If you want a gift that's not inherent to you, just lean into the one that is, and they'll start to open up, and the path will open before you. I started with energy healing also, and then in those sessions, I started communicating with the angels. They started communicating with me, showing me what needed doing. And then I started to trust them. And then they started taking it outside of sessions, right? And so this is kind of how things just evolve naturally when you really lean into what's there and what's being presented. And, it's interesting because what I see we also do sometimes is not only kind of want what's not ours innately, but we also sort of look at the people who are doing it already and then model ourselves after them and say, okay, they do X, Y, and Z. They dress like this. They wear their hair like this. I'm going to do that. And we do that. And in that case, what we're doing is like sort of embodying someone else's vibe instead of saying, okay, like, how can I do this my way? And that's what the universe wants. That's what our higher self wants. Our angels want that. How can we do this my way? And what can I embrace here? How can I use them as a role model, but still, like, how does it fit in my life? How do I embrace myself in this whole practice? And it's really through playing. It's really playing through the process of getting to know your gifts and getting to trust them. And, also, like, when I started communicating with the angels, they would like move things around my apartment, and it would be like, okay, where did you put it? And it would be they don't normally do that, which is funny, but it would be like, okay, I had to feel where they put it and I would find it, and they would like give me little tests like that, and it was really interesting just to see how much they really wanted this communication so that they would do this with and for me.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I love that. And if all else fails, ask. It's like, I
Absolutely.
think I don't know. It's like for me now. It just seems so simple and easy. That I just asked the angels to come in. I just asked my guides to come in. I just asked the energies to be present so that I
Yeah.
could feel them and be with them and allow them to be transmitted through me. So for me, it was a lot of allowance and just allowing whatever was going to flow through, knowing that it was for the client's highest good, and taking my ego, myself out of the way, right? Completely out of the way. It's like whatever's
100%.
going through, that's what they require. That's what, that's what we're going to do. And then,
Absolutely. I used to actually picture myself stepping to the side
mhm,
when I would be in energy session with people. And if I am in energy session, I still picture that, and I get out of the way and allow it to come through. The one thing that's really a little bit tricky about humanity, though, is like you were saying before, Alara, if someone says something nice about me, I have a hard time accepting that. If someone goes to pay the check at a restaurant, I have a hard time accepting that. So when we have a hard time accepting that, that just shows us how much we are still blocking the energy of abundance, the energy of being divinely supported from coming through. Because a lot of times, the divine acts through other people and gives to us through other people. And we have a hard time receiving that. We are having a hard time receiving the guidance that comes in other ways as well. So that's something just in our humanity that we get to work on over and over again on deeper and deeper levels, and just continuously play with, and to see where that's still affecting our lives and where it comes from, and we've been doing a lot of generational work on this as well. So I love that you brought that up, because it is something that still blocks us from embracing our gifts and from going as deep with them as we normally would or could.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you are finding this conversation so far resonating with you, then please start to receive the wisdom and the energies from this conversation already, right? So I know we have lots of people with their hands raised, and we still have lots of stuff that we don't want to talk about. But I wanted to take some questions and then continue the
Sure.
conversation as well, because
It's all about flow here today. And I just do want to say that what I am seeing, Archangel Raphael is showing me that he is standing behind everyone here. And there are pieces of what's coming up today that are resonating, whether it be because of our conversation or because of things that are happening in our lives. And so he's actually standing there. And if you say yes with your heart, he would love to help you heal and pull those things through your system and out so that you can go deeper into your gifts, into who you are now, and into the acceptance of the help of your angelic realm, of your higher self, and of divinity. So all you have to do is say yes with your heart, and Archangel Raphael is standing there. He's standing by and will help you do that, and then integrate new energy, new higher vibration energy to replace whatever is coming from your system.
Awesome. Sounds good. So just say yes, yes, yes. So we're going to go to, I lost Arunima. I don't know where she went, but so we're going to go to Sarah. Sarah, you want to unmute yourself? Maybe no, maybe yes, maybe she's like, what, already so soon? I wasn't expecting that. If not, we'll go to Bonnie. Bonnie, you want to unmute yourself? I'm glad you were able to find the raise hand button, Bonnie. Theresa, are you still there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, because it's like, what's going on here? Bonnie, we can't hear you. Can you talk? Are you talking? I would check your connection for your microphone. But we can't hear you or anything.
I do see that Bonnie was unmuted.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go to the next person until we get all this figured out. Colleen, you want to unmute yourself?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Hi, Colleen.
Yes. Yes, we can
hear
you.
Guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. Let's see. So I've been working on a body of kind of knowledge regarding taking our power back from money for probably 25 years. And so I've done a lot of processing work, a lot of surrendering, a lot of channeling in order to bring this kind of through to myself. And now I'm at the point I retired a couple of years ago, but I'm feeling exhausted, and I let it go this summer. I mean, I've let it go at various times, but I let it go this summer. And now I'm back to the point where I'm beginning to question, why aren't I able to ground any of this and actually get something published or finish writing a book? I've written one rough draft of a manuscript, but I know that the message, it's changing. So I'm just open to anything the angels may have to share, or Theresa or Laura. I'm just really open and welcome any insights or hits that come through.
Oh, how beautiful. First of all, congratulations on all you've accomplished. That's a lot of work that you've put in. And also congratulations from separating from it for the summer, because a lot of times, not only do we need breathing room, but the work that we're putting out into the world also needs breathing room from us so that it can integrate, shift, grow, change. And what I feel like is you're both coming back to each other now. With a fresh perspective, even if maybe it's not immediately there for you, but I feel like as you spend time together, it's like there's been this piece that hasn't been fully formed yet because the energy of the planet was not ready for it. And so now it's about separating from power, but it's also about integrating your own power around all of this. And I do feel like there's something that's just ready. It's right there. And I just see you and your work clashing into each other. And it's like fireworks. Like it's going to show you, you're going to show it, you're going to work together to create this. It's this little bitty piece that just needed to be added because of the time we're in now. That's what I'm seeing. And it's really funny that everyone else had sort of tech issues, because as soon as she said, we're going to take some questions, the angels were pointing right to you. So they were like, you first. So, that's kind of the way it works. But I do feel I do feel that there may be a little bit of a shift and change in the message of your work based on what we've been living in the past several years around power and coming to peace with it and coming into harmony. And I don't feel like your whole body of work is going to change. I just feel like there's a different way of saying a couple of things, and there's a piece that's integrating, and then it's ready to go. Does that make sense? Does this feel good, true at all to you?
It feels refreshing to my heart. Yeah, so it feels good. I'm not totally clear about what that piece is, but that's okay. I'm willing to sit with it. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And, you know, if I feel like talk to the work also, like whatever would be, whatever be a representation of the work, whether it's the stack of manuscript or whatever, and just say, what do you need to show me? Okay. You know, say to your higher self, what do you need to show me? Your angelic team, whatever resonates for you, whoever is your helper, what do you need to show me? What does the world need now? How can I serve? How can this work serve? And let it show you. And your work is also going to ask you, what do you need from me? What needs to come through me? And just sit in dialogue with it as if you can't even pour yourself both a cup of tea and just sit there and have tea together. Like whatever it is, let it be fun, because I feel a lightness around the work. Like it feels like before it was very serious, very good. And I don't want to say heavy in a negative way, but it's like the power, it's heavy. And I feel like there's light coming towards all of that stuff. So it will integrate for people better.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I've certainly done the conversations with my own body. I never thought about doing it with the work. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Love it. I can't wait. Please share when you're through with it, when it's out into the world. I cannot wait.
I would love to. That would be a huge blessing to do that. So thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Colleen. Yay.
I see Bonnie.
Can you talk now? Nope. You can't.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Bonnie. Weird.
She's going to write it.
Yeah, write it in the chat.
Good to see you, though.
All right, we're going to go to Arunima. You're back. Maybe you got kicked off before, but you're back now.
Yeah, hi. Can you see me?
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Oh, I don't know. My thing got disconnected. Just suddenly just went off. So
yeah, weird.
Yes. So my thing is that so far, whatever Theresa has said, actually everything that's what has happened with me. I overgave, overdid, overloved, and all of that. I'm extremely depleted. And so much so since February, I have not worked. And my thyroid went down. Now I'm struggling to get back my energy. I'm about to start a new job. Hopefully everything goes clear. But I also am a Reiki master, but I have not had that the drive to go after that and establish a business or whatever. So I'm not 100% sure what my gifts are, and how do I overcome this body ache, pain, and so much of always obstacles coming in my way, really get on thriving and actually prosper, because my desire is to help many people. The other main thing I would mention is that I see lots and lots of repeated number: 10, 10, 2, 2, 2, 12, 12, 1, 1, 1. My date of birth is basically 11, 11. I see a lot of numbers, and I have started noting what each number means. But I feel like I don't have any physical support of anyone. I'm basically divorced, and my kids are far away. I feel I'm exhausted. I'm trying not to struggle, but that's what the feelings have been. Both
okay,
body.
Let's see. You've shared a lot, so there's a lot there for Theresa to work with.
Okay.
There's so much beauty in this question, because the things you're experiencing are like pointing you right to your gifts, right? It's so interesting how that happens. The things that affect us in this world, the things that feel like they punch us in the gut, the places where we are feeling depleted, that shows us exactly where our gifts are, part of what we're here to help people through. And if you're feeling super depleted, of course, you're not going to want to like see clients for Reiki or teach people how to do it, because you don't have the energy to hold that right now, you know? And so I would say if you asked the people around you what your gifts are, it would look something like deep compassion, deep love, and that you would give anyone the shirt off your back if they needed it, right? That's kind of what I would guess are the three of the things people would say about you. So now, my friend, it is time for you to look at where you might need some boundaries in your life around that. Like, how can I wake up in the morning and go through my day and still have, I'm going to give you a challenge, 35% of my energy left when I go to bed at night instead of minus 20%. Okay, because you give to the point of I have nothing left and then I still give more, even if it's just you giving your own energy to your children, right? You like holding them with your solar plexus because you want them to do well, or whatever the case may be. The interesting thing, the first thing that Archangel Raphael said to me is, so I hear what you want is to plant the seeds, because we're in the new moon energy still right now, right? So you want to plant these seeds for what you want in your life. And one of the things I hear is you want to help people, you want to serve them. And the fact that you got booted right before you got to share this, I would ask you if you are open to meditating into or to playing into what is it that you have that's resistance around this. Like, where is the resistance around this? And I'll bet you that you come up with whatever it is, but also on the list is going to be, I don't have the energy, right? I just don't have the energy. So all of these things are coming up. So really being tight with your energetic boundaries and playing with what does that mean? How can I still have 35% of my energy left when I go to bed at night? So even if you're waking up with only 50% of your normal energy, then doing the math from there. And then there are so many things with thyroid that can help, but I can show, because there is not probably anyone on this call who has a thyroid that's working at 100% just because of the earth and the way we eat. But what I can show you is a way that you can tone your thyroid and you kind of activate your body's natural healing wisdom. So, Laura, is it okay if we show that?
Please.
Okay. So what you do is you start by taking your chin to your chest very gently, and you take an inhalation, and with the exhalation, what you're going to say Hari Om, but with the exhalation, you're going to come up Hari, raising your chin to the ceiling. Om, bringing the chin back down to the chest. Okay, and then you inhale here, and with the exhalation, you do it again. Hari. And what that does is it tones your thyroid, it vibrates the thyroid, it activates your body's natural intuition for healing itself. It clears energy in the throat. If Hari Om doesn't work for someone on this call, you could use something that works for you. You could use Alleluia, you could use I love, you could use whatever it is that would work for you. But that is one way. So I would do that in the morning. Like, let's say you get out of bed, you have a little sip of water. I would do that 3 times and start with 3 times, maybe take it up to 5 if you're finding that it's working for you. Does that feel like something you could do?
Yeah, absolutely. I am a yoga instructor too. I had to stop doing yoga because I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
So, but I can do this. I can do that. Hari Om, yes. Thank you so much.
I love it. Your thyroid is going to love it. And it's going to make sure that if you want to meditate afterwards, you do have the time and space to do that. Because a lot of times this will put you into a meditative state.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Aranima.
Thank you so
I
much.
just did that right now, and I got this burst of heat, like so hot now, just from that 2 times of doing it. So definitely
Thank-
something we can definitely play with. And just really quickly, Arunima, before you go, I know that, yeah,
Yes.
just really quickly, and no judgment at all.
Yes.
But you have mentioned at least twice on 2 different calls that you have no support. I
Yeah.
have said that in the past myself. And when I started to change that and recognize the support that was available, it was incredible how my life changed. So I'm just going to invite you to, number one, don't say that you have no support, right?
Okay.
Everybody has support of some sort. But sometimes we cannot see the support because we want it to look a certain way,
Right.
right? And so I had to do that for myself and realize that, you know what, I am so supported that I just didn't see it because I wanted it to be a certain way. I wanted the support to come to me in a certain way. But then once I let that go and say, okay, I'm just willing to receive the support, however it shows up. Wow. Right. So now I can never say that again. I am
Okay.
so supported. Because I used to always say, spiritually, I'm so supported, but in the physical realm, I have no support, which was not true at all. Right. So please,
Yeah.
and I say this for
Yes.
everybody, please stop saying that and start to just receive and appreciate and acknowledge the support that is there for you, because we are all supported.
Yeah, it's, you know what, even if you can't see the thing that you feel like you're lacking in your life, if you practice feeling it as if it were really there and go into gratitude for it, thank you so much for the abundant support I have, from that place of really feeling it, then your life totally changes because you've made space for it and you've opened the door to receiving it. And that goes to for all of us, for anything that we want more of in our life.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you, Laura. Thank you, Theresa. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I will say I have support. I have support. I have support.
You are so supported.
I'm so supported. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you, Arunima.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that was, from my own personal experience. So I know that for sure. All right. So where were we now? I wanted to definitely get Sarah's back. Sarah, we called on you earlier. You were not there, but now you're back.
I was afraid that might have happened. I jumped up to do something. I said, I'd better get back to the computer. They might have called on me. Thank you. Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of gifts. And of course, the grass is always greener, right? We always want more. We want it to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So I do talk to the angels every morning at 11:11. I talk to those angels. I talk to, the ascended masters. I talked to so many of my friends who've died in the last year, and I don't feel like I hear anything back, but I just ask for guidance, and I'm going to assume I'm getting the guidance, that I'm just not hearing it a certain way. And I'm going forward with some music healing work. So I've been told for years that, a lot more was going to open up for me in terms of hearing and being able to do healing and all that jazz. But I feel like right now I should just go with what is happening and know the angels are talking to me, though I can't hear them, and I would really love to.
Yeah. There's so much richness there. Every time I talk to you, I just see trees everywhere. So like the trees are still like all around you, and it's so beautiful to see and to experience. They're just so in support of you, and it's amazing. Okay. So what I see for you is definitely, and our last person also said that she saw repeated numbers. So that's always universe, your higher self, all the energy showing you that you're supported. So even in those moments where we don't necessarily feel supported, or the communication, those numbers are showing us, hey, yes, you are, just trust. And for you, what I'm feeling is that when the information is needed, it will be there. So it's almost like, we do all of our spiritual work, and it's kind of easy for us to do it when we're not in crisis, right? But it's when we are in crisis that we most need it. And what I'm feeling for you is that you are doing all of this work and making all of these connections, so that in the moment, it doesn't have to be crisis, but in the moment when you need that inspiration, it can just come. It's just there. So it's like you're making and establishing the connections, and then you will just receive when the moment is right. And so just know that you're doing all of this, and the support is so there for you. And I don't feel you as a healer. No, I'm sorry. I do feel you as a healer. I don't feel you as a hearer per se, as much as I feel you as a feeler. Like it's almost like, should I X or Y? Okay, Y feels good. So that's what I should do. And I feel like that's the way some of this communication is happening for you. And so when you implicitly trust that, I feel like other ways open. And I do feel like you're working with the angels all the time, and they're always there for you, and have been your whole life. So it's almost like sometimes there's an energy there that is just so recognizable that it doesn't seem like anything necessarily special, because it's just always been there. So if you do want to expand your communication, just ask, say, look, I've been working on my trust with the messages, and knowing that they're there, I would love to start being able to hear or feel or whatever on a deeper level, so that we could, let's take this to the next level, right? It's kind of like you're having that conversation. You ready to take this to the next level? Because I am. So, so that just feels like something that would be good to do right now. But I absolutely feel like when the information is needed, it will just come through and you'll receive it, or you'll be speaking it and you'll be like, where did that come from? Does that make sense?
Yes. And that happens a lot, especially in the middle of a wedding or something. It's like new information coming in for these people.
Mhm.
Yes, and I'm trusting that's true. I am a feeler, and I do just get things pop in my head all the time. And I've been asking for that expansion, but I just figure it's not time or it's not my way. So I thought I would ask you about it. And thanks so much. I visited my favorite tree yesterday, and it was my
Mhm.
birthday last week, and I went up to a giant redwood forest, which is what I seem to be doing every
I
year now
love it.
for my birthday. So I'm hanging out with the trees. Can't say that I hear them either, but I just give them a full body hug. Somebody offered me a
Mm,
chair yesterday, and I said, no, no, I'm just here to hug the tree. I don't need to sit down.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Alara,
Go ahead.
Bonnie
Yeah.
sent me her question. Is that something that we can do?
Yeah. But before that, I just wanted, if you can clarify for everybody, because I think people need to maybe just get clarity on what hearing really means. Hearing is not always a booming voice. It's not always hearing sound, like in your ear. It's not always that. So can you just, for everybody, so that they know what hearing really means?
Yeah, so hearing is not always a booming voice, although sometimes it will be, but be it will seem like it comes from inside of you as opposed to coming from outside of you. So if your neighbor is calling you over the fence, that sounds a certain way. If an angel is calling you, it'll seem like it comes from inside of you most of the time. There are exceptions to that rule, and most of the times those are either in a huge awakening or in like a crisis, as if you were about to die and it wasn't your time. So, you might hear an actual voice then coming from outside of you. So you'll hear from inside. The other way that we sometimes can hear is having this high pitched frequency in one of our ears generally. Now pay attention. If you do have that high pitched frequency that happens in your ear, pay attention to which ear it is, because that is your hearing ear. And what's happening at that moment in time is you are receiving a download of information that you may not know what it is, but that information will open up inside of you and show itself as wisdom or as knowing at some point in time. So those are the two predominant ways that we do hear in terms of our spiritual gifts.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Perfect. So Bonnie had a question for you. I'm so sorry, Bonnie, that we
Yes.
couldn't get you on, but at least
Let's see.
we have your question.
Bonnie is saying, I am in shock and awe at being in an industry I never thought I would have to return to. And what is worse is that I'm under the most challenging management I've ever been under. I don't feel I will be here long, but not clear on why I am here. I know all happens in divine timing. I know all happens for me, but I truly would love some insight on how I ended up in such an extremely difficult position with this job. What am I here to learn, and what might be new on the horizon? I am remote and totally isolated as well. Okay. Love this question, because this is sort of, we all go through this with manifesting what we want next. And in order to manifest clearly what we want next, sometimes we have to go back into old situations to clear stuff that we need to clear before we move into what's next, or to get clear on what it is that we don't want in this next manifestation. And so, in all fairness, I've known Bonnie's journey for a little while and where she's been. So I'm going to try to take this from like an omniscient perspective and not be in there. What it feels like for you in this moment is that returning is helping you get clear on why you left in the first place. It's helping you get clear on what doesn't work for you so that you can get even clearer and move into the feeling of what does, of what you want. So, and also to get really clear that remote doesn't seem to work for you. So that's the first clarity I hear in here. And I also, the question of what am I here to learn is a question for you to meditate into. But I would say that what you're there to learn is absolutely what you don't want so that you can get clearer on what you do, and to also sever the cords that even though you felt you were done with that industry, there were still some sort of cords that were tying you into it, and probably financial, because it's probably been more ease filled for you to generate financial income from that place than some uncharted territory. So it's about being willing to have those cords severed as well. I hope that makes sense. Please let us know if it does. And I would also 100% meditate into what am I here to learn? And also I just do want to say also, I feel like the management piece, it's echoing other relationships in your life and other ways that you've interacted with people in the past that you're done with. So it's not just about management, it's about your whole life. So look at that. What is this? What's not working for me here? What have I outgrown and what do I need? Those are the questions to ask.
Awesome. Thank you, Bonnie. I'm glad you were able to get your answer. We're going to go to Devin. You want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
Hi.
Devin.
Hello. So this is my first time joining you. So I wasn't exactly sure what to expect today or what we could ask, but
I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
yeah, thank you. I've been kind of at this for a while, trying to figure out this whole spiritual rabbit hole that I threw myself in years back and can't get out of.
I love it.
One of the things I've been trying to figure out is why I haven't been able to move forward. The finance isn't happening, the abundance isn't happening. And a lot I get as well, there must be blockages that's stopping that, either beliefs or what have you. So I've been trying to identify and remove those. At the same time, I had someone make a comment to learn your clear, focus on what your specialty is and get good at that. I'm like, okay, great idea. Don't know what that is though. And then your email came in saying, oh, identify and learn your skills. So I go, okay, I'll bite. So I joined you today, and I'm curious maybe what kind of insight that I could get around that. Am I on the right path? Am I putting the energy into what I'm supposed to for, what I came here, or am I just completely off the track and that's why it's not working out? And it's like, dude, you got to go somewhere else. It's tough not knowing that.
I love this because I love what happens when we do immerse ourselves into spirituality. And it is a rabbit hole because there's so much. And all of a sudden it's like, remember that game, Hungry, Hungry Hippos? It's just like, I want it all, like, give me. And I love the place you're in now because I feel your energy is so open. I feel the love exuding from you. You're just in such a good place with that. And I will share with you that the one place every human being, no matter how spiritual they are, has hangups is finances. And it's because we constantly are separating the energy of finance and money from all the other energies that we know how to clear. It's like, okay, we know how to deal with all this energy. And then here's the money pile, because we are so reluctant to lump that in because, there's so much stuff around it. So for you, in particular, what I'm feeling is this is a very generational learning for you around security and finance and making sure. Did you have a grandfather, it feels like, who was very concerned about making sure the family was secure and like maybe even hiding money in mattresses or something like that?
Oh, I'm not sure. I was never really involved in financial conversations to that level when I was younger. So
Okay.
I don't know. Do know, you know, coming from a farming family, there wasn't a lot of money. I know
That's it.
I've identified a lot of the money beliefs around that. So I have identified a bunch that's in with the family, but either there's more to go or that's not exactly where my issues were.
Yeah, no, I definitely see this as generational. And there are so many of the qualities that have come down through the genetic line that are beautiful qualities that have come to you. And this is not one of them. You know, it definitely served a purpose, the scarcity mindset, like what if, you know, what if we have a bad crop? What if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? And making sure everything was okay. And it feels like the way it was handed down, it's beautiful because it caused the family to survive. It allowed you to get here, right? Beautiful thing. It worked then. It's not working now for the energy you're in, for the energy that the world is in. So what it feels like is if you simply in a meditative or a prayerful state, just give gratitude for all of the stuff around finance that has come to you to make sure that you got here and that your family was secure. And then just ask your angels or your guides or whatever feels true to you to help you release that which is no longer serving right now and integrate a new pattern that would serve at a higher level. It feels like that's all you really need to do right now. And it just feels like the energy starts moving, things start flowing. I also feel two other things for you. I feel, I don't know if you're familiar with Archangel Kamael or Shamuel. I feel that angel very strongly with you. So you may want to look into that. And I also love the visual that he's giving me of the farming family, like really spending time picturing yourself planting money trees,
Hmm.
just planting the trees, watering them and seeing the crop just start to grow. And it feels like that visual not only taps into who you are, it taps into who you came from and gives your ancestral line something they can relate to and that they can support you in the moving of this process because they can see how differently you're handling it. Does this make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Make you know, what was the name you mentioned, Archangel who?
Kamael, it's
I didn't
Kamael or
recognize the name.
Shamuel.
Samuel.
I put them in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alara's got it
perfect.
covered.
Thank you.
It's the same angel, just it depends on where you look. The name might be different.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe he's been trying to communicate to me for a long time and is frustrated with me.
No, angels don't get frustrated. What they do is they get more joy filled the more that you can receive their messages. So it's just like they're always waiting, like they're on the edge of their seat waiting. And then when you finally get it, they just explode. They're like, yes. And like there's confetti and all the things.
Right.
That was so beautiful. And you know, my whole family are also farmers, or some are still, some were. And so it's like my my uncles and my grandfather used to have like mango orchards, right? So sugarcane plantations, mango orchards, and all that stuff. And so it's like, oh, planting money trees. That sounds like fun. It's like, oh, I should do that too.
I come from a line of farmers also, so I love that.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Good luck with that. Play with it and just be open to receiving as well, right?
Yeah, play,
Right.
Devin. You need to play. It's like it's all over your face, just the play and the joy.
That's what I'm looking forward to getting back to. So glad you could see it.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So wow, that was so much fun. So many wonderful questions, so many wonderful answers, so much wonderful wisdom. And like I said, I really like that planting the money trees because I've always been partial to the mango trees and the orchards that we used to have and stuff. And so peaceful. So peaceful. Just that whole energy of sitting with my grandfather under the mango trees. It's like, yeah. All right. So we still have lots of people with their hands raised. We have questions in the chat. I think we've talked about a lot of that we wanted to, but
You know
Sure.
how it goes. We go where we need to.
We go where we need to. We go where, we're called to. But I just want to take a few minutes and talk about the package, and then I want to come back and just address one or two things that we haven't discussed yet, and then we'll see if we have time for some more questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I am going to share my screen for a second. And share. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yeah.
So Theresa has a wonderful package with 3 pieces, 3 parts to it: embracing your gifts meditation package, working with the angels, a pre-recorded course, connecting with the mostly unseen realms pre-recorded course. So there's a lot in here, and it's such a fabulous way for people to not only start to work with their gifts, but also to strengthen their gifts and work with more of the angels and guides and the unseen realms. So let's go ahead.
Go ahead. Did you want me to say something?
I was just going to say, can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
each of the parts?
Beautiful. So the meditation package is really 3 different meditations that you can use over and over again to heal through and go into the next level of who you truly are, and aligning the energy with the life of your dreams. Even if you don't know exactly what that looks like, if you do know, for example, I want more support in my life. Okay, well, let's get you that. Do the energetic realignment for that. Go to your work pyramid, heal your obstacles. So these 3 meditations are packaged together specifically so that you can move through anything that's blocking you from embracing your gifts. So I'm so excited for this.
Awesome.
And then the Working with the Angels course is a 3-part course, pre-recorded, and it's all about working with your angels, specifically for healing, for receiving messages and guidance, and just for moving into who you are now. And so you'll be able to move through all of that, learn who they are, learn how they show up, and connect with them. And also, like we talked about today, learn, okay, what is hearing? What is seeing? How does that show up in my life if that's something you've never experienced before? So whether you're new to angels or you've been working with them for a while, this can definitely open up more communication for you working through this course.
Absolutely. And then connecting with the mostly unseen realms.
This is one of my favorite things that I've ever done. It is, so you're connecting with the dragons, the angels, the fairies and gnomes, and oh my gosh, why did I forget the 4th one?
The unicorns.
The unicorns, duh. And this is the unicorns, and the fairies are notorious for sort of like avoiding humanity the way we have been in the past, certain realms of fairies especially, and they're so willing to work with us now, especially those of us who are in communities like this, who are showing up, who are doing the work, who are wanting what's best for the world and the universal energy. So they are willing to work with us and show themselves to us and be there for and with us. And so this series will help you to start recognizing them, communicating with them more effectively, and inviting that communication into your life on a daily basis if you would like. And each of these classes also has a meditative process where you will go into meditation and meet an angel or the dragons or the fairies or the unicorns that are there to work with you at any point in time. So if you're doing this now and then you're doing it a year from now, you might meet different beings, but they're the ones who are right for you to work with your energy at the time. It's an amazing course. It's super fun, and it connects you in amazing ways. I've had so many people come back to me and tell me the incredible experiences they've had with their unseen helpers or previously unseen helpers that now are there for them.
Beautiful. I love it. And so powerful. And it's like, again, right now, sometimes we have that feeling that, we're not getting the messages. It's not clear. We're not feeling connected. So these 3 pieces in this package will help you, will support you. And the package is $97, and there's a payment plan available. And of course, if you're an Inner Circle member, please do take advantage of your gift code. And this, it's going to be it's fun. It's not heavy, I would say. I didn't feel heavy to me. It sounds like fun, exciting, new, and also strengthening, right? So it's going to support you in wherever you're at.
And the idea behind my work is that I know for a fact that if things aren't they have to be serious. Like I have to know that I'm going somewhere, and they also have to be fun, or I'm just not going to do it. So that's what I love about working with the angels, and the work that I put out is it rides the line between, hey, this is really enjoyable and really fun, and I'm having a good time, and I'm getting some serious hardcore work done.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, awesome. Thank you. All right. So, oh my goodness, I'm still sweating from the from that process that we did.
I got to tell you that this whole day I have been sweating because the energy was coming in from the time I woke up this morning. I was like, how many hours left? I'm so tired of sweating.
I hear you. There was a question in the chat from Lori. I think it was Lori, and she was asking about something about your Ayurvedic course or program or your work. Trying to find it just to see if you could share a little bit about that as well. What was it? Yeah, Lori. No, not Lori.
Oh, here it is. Oh no.
Somebody asked a question. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Lori. She said, Theresa, can you talk about the Ayurvedic work that you do?
Great. Yeah. So, I mean, it looks at a whole bunch of different ways, but basically Ayurveda is one of the things that helped me to heal myself at a very deep level. So what Ayurveda is it's an ancient science of healing that's over 5,000 years old, and it comes from India. And it is one of the most powerful things that I have ever experienced because it helps us to embrace who we are on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels and heal all of those at the exact same time. And that's why it's so powerful in my opinion and in my experience. And so my Ayurveda is woven through every single thing that I did. So I just showed you the Hari Om. That's Ayurveda. Let's move some physical energy. Let's move some energetic stuff through this pranayama. I also do see clients one-on-one for Ayurvedic sessions, and I run Ayurvedic cleanses. So when I do anything with Ayurveda, it is all encompassing for all of it, and everything. Even if you buy the package, right, there's Ayurvedic principles woven through there, even though it's not necessarily the Ayurvedic approach to connecting with your angels. It's definitely what's blocking us in our lives. How do we move that, and how do we do it at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels? So I hope that answers your question. But I've found it super powerful. I healed myself in so many ways. When I was in my early 20s, I had amazing inflammatory conditions. I had precancerous conditions. I had digestive issues that I couldn't deal with. My whole body was acting like it was, much, much older than it was. And like I was a heavy smoker and did all the things that, people know they shouldn't do to be healthy, but I was doing none of them. And so Western science had no answer. And energy medicine, energy work, and Ayurveda together helped me to heal all of that completely and irreversibly, and helped me to open up other parts of myself. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go to Randy. I think Randy has a question. And then Randy, you can unmute. Wow. I guess we're not going to Randy. All right, we're going to go to Gurjeet.
I'm just trying to look through the comments too, the questions. Okay.
Yes. Hi, Alara, and hi, Theresa.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. And what I'm really concerned about for the last few days is this total lack of energy and this intense pain in the legs. That's just like, I don't even understand where it's from, but I can barely move. It's in the knees and all parts of my legs. And there's an amount of frustration that I feel. And that is, of course, related to my work that I want to put out into the world. And that seems to be going really slowly and, in a very erratic fashion. And I'm quite I want to get it out and I'm not able to. So that frustration.
Can I just say something really quickly, Theresa?
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned
your show.
I mentioned at the beginning of the call that I was feeling really weird today, right? I didn't say exactly what was happening, but it was exactly that, Gurjeet, which was really strange. My legs and my arms were like so weak and so heavy, and I was so tired, but I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, what is, I'd never experienced that. So it's like, I don't know what this is. So I actually had something salty, and some water and stuff. And then I was fine after a little while, but it was like, maybe it's something up in the air. I don't know. I checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was a little bit low. So I did check that as well. But it was strange, right? And so Karen says, me too. I have the same thing you just described. Arunima says, I went through those symptoms. Please check your thyroid. So it might be something that's just up right now, but strange. I don't know. So go ahead, Theresa. I just thought I'd share that.
Beautiful. So I just want to say in general, like if there's ever physical symptoms going on, I always am an advocate of get yourself checked out by your physician and find out what it's not before we just assume it's like ascension symptoms or whatever. So
I agree.
So what I'm feeling your frustration. I'm feeling your sort of like I should be here and I'm not. Like I'm feeling that. I'm also feeling like there's some uncertainty about moving forward fully into that work, some hesitation. Maybe it's about how others would view you, maybe even what family members would think of you. Does any of that ring true for you?
A little bit, just
Okay.
that I might be super busy and not have time for others. That's just what comes up.
Okay. That's part of it. So you're setting this powerful intention at the new moon, like I want this. And then what's happening is that little bit of fear. Now you see how powerful our tiny little thoughts are, right? That little bit of what if I don't have time for my family? What if I don't have time for those I love? Like that's sort of pulling you in the other direction. So it's almost like you're walking up the hill in a snowstorm and someone's pulling you back down the hill. And so what I feel is to know that your priorities are going to remain your priorities no matter what your service is in the world, because making time for those you love is important to you. So the angels, your higher self, won't give you any more than you can handle. And the way you do that is you block off your schedule. Even before you have all the time spent on that work, you block off your schedule. This is time for my family. This is time for me to take a break. This is time for me to connect with my loved ones, right? So that's all blocked out on your schedule, even if there's nothing else on it. So you're putting your boundaries out to the universe. I am willing to fill in all this other time with what you need me to do, but this is important to me, right? So do you think that's possible? Good. The other thing that I want to say, where are you in the world?
I'm here in Surrey in British Columbia, Canada.
Okay. At this time of year, joint pain can be normal because of the way the weather starts to shift, like the air starts to dry out. We start to get more into like a fall vibe, even if it's still warm and humid out. What I would ask you to do is just check your protein level. Are you eating enough protein? Are you getting enough protein? And, and just look into that as well. And do you have Maharayan oil at all, or
I haven't heard of it. Could you put it in the chat, please?
Yeah. If your joints are hurting, that can be something good for them as well. I will put that in a bit. But so that's what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling like there's conflicting energy. And then the second thing is just to check your protein level. Like, are you eating enough protein? Because if you're not at this time of your joint pain, especially in the knees and the elbows and the wrists, can be very common.
No, there's no pain in the elbows or wrists or anywhere.
Good.
Just the knees and the legs.
Well, good that it's only there, but we want it to be gone. So just watch what you're eating, make sure you're getting enough protein and see how that goes for you.
And the hair loss is associated. I'm sort of connecting the dots. Maybe this intense hair loss is due to a protein deficiency.
It could be. I'm going to agree with Arunima. If you haven't had your levels checked, like your blood levels, your thyroid levels, I would always just have those checked just to make sure. just to know what you're not working with so that you can be sure of what you are. But all of these can be symptoms of protein deficiency also.
Mhm. Yes, and another question I have someone dear to me who's had her thyroid removed. So in that case, and she's also having these symptoms of low energy and unable to get up. So I'm not really sure what she could do.
Are you notoriously empathetic? Do you
Very,
feel other
very.
people's?
And I have a feeling that this is what's happening currently because I'm with my mother-in-law, and when I'm sitting in that same room, it's like all my energy is sucked out of me, and I'm starting to develop symptoms that she has.
Yeah, you need boundaries. I think for a lot of us today, boundaries are going to be paramount for what's next, right? Like we want to step more into ourselves. So definitely set energetic boundaries. Picture yourself, call upon Archangel Michael. If that resonates for you, picture yourself in a bubble of light before you go into the room with her. If you feel that bubble is dissolving and energy is getting through it, excuse yourself, go to the restroom, put it back on. Make sure that you're taking space from where you're living and where she is also, just so that you can have time to sort of reconnect with who you are. Like a lot of times we lose ourselves in the energy of someone else. So just reconnect with who you are so you can come back to the situation more sourced as yourself.
So thank you so much. And I'm getting that I need to up my protein, check my thyroid, and the oil that you suggested, I haven't quite got. Okay,
There it is.
Narayan oil. Thank you. Thank you. I get that.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Gurjeet. And so it's so funny that so many people are experiencing, what I was talking about. And it's like, oh, for me, it's just one day. So I don't concern myself with something that's one day. But it's like, oh, interesting. Something must be up in the air. In the
100%.
energies.
And sometimes we're just tired for a day, but if it's something that's ongoing, then it's definitely worth looking at. And we have to look at it from, is this mine? Is this somebody else's? What's going on? And like I said, I like to know what it's not before I work on what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, like Theresa said, and like I always say on all the calls, if you have something physical going on that's been going on for a while, not just one day, please go get it checked. Talk with your doctor, get it checked just to make sure that there's nothing going on. So I just want to quickly talk about the 5 steps of embracing our gifts and how we can keep expanding on them. I don't think we talked about the steps per se, but I wanted to make sure we talked about that, and also your free gift, which is similar or around that topic.
Yeah. So what I love about these 5 steps is that they help us to open into the next thing. So the first is to be willing to shine our light the way it is. Like we've had we talked about fear of being depleted, people finding us and draining us even more. We've had fear of outshining, we've given everything to everyone else. So we need to reconnect with who we truly are and be willing to shine our light. So that's like the first piece, is just to like even a little bit more than we normally would, just to shine and see what happens, right? Be willing to also take a break from life in order to do that. So that's step 1. Then step 2 is to start to trust. And we've talked about this. So I think we talked about these, but not necessarily in this context. Trusting the messages we're giving, trusting ourselves, trusting the intuition, trusting the divine. Recently I got an invitation to an event and I asked my higher self, and higher self said no. And I was like, why? And I'm arguing, right? But it ended up that something happened in my life that I wouldn't have been able to go anyway. And my higher self knew it. And I had to trust that and go with it. And, honestly, if my higher self said no isn't enough for you, I shouldn't be at your event anyway. So just trusting. And this takes muscle building. This takes you build the muscles every time you trust a message, every time you trust yourself, you build a muscle and you get stronger at it. Then comes energizing, increasing your energy level, your available energy, so that you can show up in a way where you're not depleted, you're not overgiving. And we can do this in tons of ways. There's a million different ways to do this. One of my personal favorite is to make sure that I have food prepped that's healthy and that nourishes me, so that when I get hungry, I don't just eat whatever is there. I have something that will nourish me and give me energy, give me life. but you can do that however. So energizing, reclaiming your energy, then opening to your gifts, right? This is what we're talking about today. Accepting yourself, the things that make you quirky, weird, special, the things that make other people uncomfortable about you or that they love about you, everything that makes you uniquely you. What do you like to do? What are you incredibly good at? What don't you like? Like really accepting that and leaning into who you truly are in this lifetime with all of this very special, only created once alchemy of gifts. And then number 5 is presence, to be fully present in every moment, no matter what you're doing. You're scooping the cat box, you are there, you are scooping the cat box, right? You are you're sitting with a friend, not looking at your phone, not thinking about the podcast that you just listened to in the car. You're sitting there, you're present, you're listening. And then we start to do this with ourselves as well. So those are the 5 steps to really embracing who we truly are and bringing all of those things into this very moment. And when we can do that, that's when the energy opens up around us. That's when miracles can occur because there's no part of us that's in the future or the past. We are fully here, and all of the alchemy, all of the miraculous connections that need to happen can happen, and we can receive them and recognize them.
Absolutely. I love that. Beautiful. Thank you. And of course, check out Theresa's free gift, which is on the gifts page. Okay, so please do that as well. So just a few more quick questions. I know Sue has a question, Karen has a question, and I think Melissa has a question. So Sue, how are you doing? I love Sue's energy.
There you
She's
go.
just-
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. We can hear you. We can
Nice
see you.
meeting you or talking to you.
Hi. I love that you have your tech support team there with you.
Yes, I do. Oh, do you see him? He's
Take a
my,
sit back.
I'm sight challenged right now. Alora's all aware of that. So he's kind of my support group, my guide, everything right now. So I'm blessed to have
Nice.
him.
Nice.
Absolutely. So what's your question today, Sue?
Okay, my question is, I know I have a certain angel around me right now who's leading me towards the physical health aspect now. I've been doing all the energy work, but now I'm guided to a homeopathic doctor to take care of the physical realm right now. I know Raphael has been around, but there's another angel which I know he's here, but I can't detect who he is. There's somebody guiding me and pushing me the right way.
Do you feel the energy as a masculine energy?
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting, because I'm feeling Archangel Faith very strongly around you. And I'm just kind of feeling into, okay. So I'm feeling Archangel Faith very strongly around you. I'm also feeling 2 guardian angels around you very strongly. And what Faith is showing me is that she's being very direct in the way she's communicating with you, because she feels like what's needed at this time is like, you do A, let's do A right now. Okay, then we can take care of B, and let's take care of B right now. So it feels like a very masculine way she's communicating, but I do feel the 2 guardian angels as more masculine energies. So maybe one of those is the one that's stepping forward for you personally, but I feel Raphael, literally Raphael, walking with you with his hands on your shoulders constantly, Faith walking with you, and the two guardian angels walking one at each side. So you are completely surrounded by angels with every step that you take all of the time. So one of the guardian angels, I don't know the name, I'm feeling a CH in the beginning, and the other one is very energetically supportive, but very quiet. So I'm not getting anything from that one. But if you do ask, they will give you more.
Okay. And I've also last night, maybe that's who I saw then. I had seen an angel last night. They actually woke me up at 1 o'clock in the morning so they could be seen. And they were like floating by, and they had communication with me, but I couldn't tell who it was. That might have been her.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Well, was it a certain color?
Yes, no way. Whoever it was like a beautiful, almost like a beige and like a gold and like a cream. And they were just like floating by, but they said they had to wake me up to talk to me.
Aw.
And
Nice.
she had said, I'm on the right path for physical, but she never identified or who it was. And they said, you can go back to sleep now. And I went back to sleep.
Nice. You follow direction.
What a blessing,
did.
Sue.
No.
No. Sometimes I don't listen that well. Boy, they let me know when they want me to do something.
Yeah. But still, what a gift and blessing that was for you to
Yeah,
have
it's
that
beautiful.
visitation and that communication.
It's been happening a lot more recently. And
Good.
they've just been, I've actually had some of the star beings coming to me. And like Isis, she
Hmm.
came the other day, but they come and go. Like, I guess they feel when they want me to see them, I see them. Other than that, they don't say too much to me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I
Okay.
consider it a blessing now that they're around this time, especially. They're aside from my husband and you guys, they're my support group right now. They're just holding me together.
Yeah.
Hmm. Beautiful.
You're fully supported, Sue.
I know.
You-
And that's why I always watch this show, because you have on beautiful people and you've always been supportive. And even the people that are on the show with you are always there for me. And I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
I'm sending you such a big hug. Oh my gosh.
Aw.
Such a big hug.
And you are thank you for your blessings you have given me today. I really appreciate it, because it's been a kind of challenging couple days.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it's the energies. I'm really feeling the energies outside, and it's just like chaos. And it's like, okay, let's change the dial.
Exactly.
But thank you, both of you, for all your support and love. It's really appreciated.
So much
Thank you,
love
Sue.
to you.
And blessings and great health to both of you also. And whoever else is on this call, thank you for support too.
Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Sue. So kind. And for your
We
husband as
received
well.
that.
Thank you. Thank you
I
very
forgot
much
his
for taking
name.
my call. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go to Karen, and then we're gonna have to wrap up in a few minutes. So Karen, if you're there, you want to unmute yourself if you can.
Karen.
Hello.
Hi, what's your question, Karen?
I hope this isn't too repetitive, but I also have the same symptoms this week of extreme pain in my knees, my legs, and complete exhaustion. And I don't know if it's I have reverse polarity, chronic reverse polarity from going out too much. And I'm right now in an area where there's a lot of discarnate spirits from Portal in New York. So there's a lot of them here. And so I don't know if it's that or something new.
Okay. So one of the things that's different about what I see for you, are you able to lay on the floor with your legs up the wall?
Against the wall?
Yeah. So you would, in essence, look like an L. Your legs would be up the wall and your body would be on the floor.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So if you are able to do that, I would try doing that for maybe start with 3 minutes and see if you can get to 3 minutes. If it hurts or if something's not comfortable, please let yourself get out of it. Okay. They're showing me that for you. And then the other thing I would ask is the same kind of things I just asked about protein. Are you getting enough protein? Is it quality protein? I would also recommend if the Maharayan oil is probably, if you're in New York, you could probably get it somewhere, or you can order it online. But those things you can rub, actually you could rub any oil. Like if you have olive oil, you could rub it on your knees as well. Just like really taking the time to give yourself some love and energy. Just for you, it's interesting. Is there something that you're feeling called to move into that you're reluctant? Are you feeling a call to something that you're reluctant to answer?
No. maybe a lot of things.
Okay. Okay, you know what? So when you're laying in your L position with your legs up the wall, what I would do is talk to my knees, just like we're talking. Okay, knees. Okay, legs. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful message. I got you loud and clear. What exactly are you trying to tell me? Right? So now you're taking care of your knees. You're doing all of the things to make sure. And you're also saying, let me have the message so that we can stop hurting, right? Let me incorporate the message, because I do feel like there's like a little shift in your life that is coming, and that there might be reluctance. Like there's energetically, you're feeling it before it's presenting itself to you. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. So just let them show you what's up. And if there's any energy for you to clear. But other than that, I would check on those few things, and it doesn't feel like it lasts very long, but just kind of examine those things in your life. And obviously there's an energetic here that we're all feeling collectively as well. So, so let's all know that we're all rubbing our knees together.
I'm always worried about attachments in this area, because this whole area was built on a cemetery, like 3 of them that go back to, I guess, 1500s. And people that live here don't know that. I just found out a few years ago. So I always feel maybe it's attachments, or I'm just feeling the energy. Maybe it's the new moon, but this is, unusually painful.
Yeah. Definitely check it's so weird. I just keep seeing the protein, like definitely check the protein also. It's
Really?
one of the weird protein deficiency situations that you would never know it's a symptom, is especially knee pain, like joint pain. So, you might be fine with that, and it might just be totally energetic, but it's definitely worth taking a look at.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. All right, wonderful. Lots of wonderful information today. Lots of these wonderful, quick little processes that we can all do if they feel right to us. I'm definitely going to do the Hari Om one, for sure.
That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I love it. And I never heard of the Mahanarayan oil, so I will look that up. But any oil will do. And then
not necessarily. It depends on who you are. This is definitely one for joint pain. But for Karen, the olive oil could work as well. So I wouldn't say any oil could do, because it could exacerbate if you're using the wrong one.
Ah, good. Well, Thank you for clarifying that. So do your research, and but I'm gonna look up the Mahanarayan oil. That oil would be okay for pain in the joints, or just leg pain or whatever, right?
And you can actually, probably, if you go to my website, you can link to Banyan, and they have it, and it's good quality. So I'm always, it's Banyan Botanicals, and there's on the bottom of my homepage, there's a link. You can go right to them from there.
Right. Awesome. Any Indian grocery stores?
Indian grocery stores will have it.
Yeah, I live in a small village of 75 people. There's no store. There's nothing. And I can always wait till I get home to Canada. So, because, there's all sorts of Indian stores there. I know somebody asked a question in the chat. Please, can I have an answer what my question? I don't know what your question is or where it is now. It's like way up there somewhere. If it's a simple, easy, quick question, great. If not, then we will have to do it some other time, because we are running out of time here. I don't know where it is. Sorry, still scrolling. Nope. That's that. I found the question, but it's like she gets money problems. It's a bigger question than just 1 second. She's wanting to do business. It's a bit long for at the end of the call, unfortunately. We'll have to do that some other time, Sunita. Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right. So, because we are running low on time, unfortunately. I'm starting to sweat now. So any last words of wisdom for us, Theresa? I mean, this was so interesting, so much wisdom, and all of our gifts that we have and that we're leaning into are what the collective needs right now, is what the people around us need right now. So part of it is about us getting out of our own way and allowing ourselves to shine, right? Sexual
Yeah, I
abuse,
mean,
is that my gift? That's the question. Well,
all of our gifts are on the other side of fear, right? Like
Yeah.
that's all. And you were created perfectly suited to the work you're here to do and what the world needs and what you need to do for the world. So everything is in this amazing package. That's you. Just get the support you need to bring it out if you need support, or just fearlessly go in there and be who you are, because you are beautiful, you are light, and you are love.
and trust, right? Trust the guidance that you're receiving. Trust your connection with the divine, with your angels, with your team, with your higher self. Trust and move into whatever it is that brings you joy, right? If we keep doubting ourselves, we're never going to do anything, right? But if you start to trust and have confidence in yourself, in your abilities, in your connection with the divine, with source, absolutely. But yes, if you need extra support in connecting and finding different ways to connect with your guides, angels, and team, definitely you can work with Theresa's package. There's some wonderful meditations and courses there to help you,
So good.
even like strengthening a clarity, even right on your gift or on the way that you connect, right?
100%.
Yeah, so definitely, Sunita, if you know, you might want to look at that package for yourself if you're having those types of questions about, is this my gift? You know, so of course people will do everything for free. That's not the point, right? So doing something for free and then doing something for paid does not qualify whether that's your gift or not. Your gift is your gift, whether you get paid for it or you don't, right? So it is about trusting that this is what I feel strongly about. I'm feeling called to do this. My guides and my angels and my team are supporting me, and trust, right? And like Theresa said at the beginning, when you're in alignment with your guides, your angels, your gift, your connection, then those right clients, those right people will find you, right? But you know, don't wait. Just start doing whatever you can. And yeah, I mean, but that's again, that's a whole other big topic we could talk about.
We'll have to
But
do a whole other call on that.
exactly, that's a whole other call. Absolutely. So but yeah, play with it, you know. And that's the thing, it's like we all have to at some point trust ourselves and say, yes, this is what I'm doing because I'm being called, because I'm being guided by my angels, my team, etc., my higher self, and I'm just going to start sharing. I'm going to start shining my light. And that's what Theresa was talking about at the very beginning. Shine your light. This is the time. It's always been the time, but really, truly, we need to get out of our own way and get beyond the fear, like Theresa said, right? So once you get on the other side of fear, so much more opens up for you, right? So you will have much more clarity, many more answers, etc. So yeah, everything Theresa said, and plus everything I just said as well. It's like, so much is coming through that I could definitely talk about that forever, but trust yourself, right? And thank you, Theresa, so much. I always say this about your connection with your angels is so spot on, and you trust the information and the guidance that you receive, and you share it as you're receiving it without, filtering it or like, too much kind of thing, but just sharing it, right? And that's what we all have to do with our connection as well. Trust the guidance, trust the connection, and be in faith, right? So thank you, everyone, for all your questions. I know I missed some, but thank you, everybody for all your questions, your feedback in the chat and everything. And thank you, Theresa. It's always so much fun. I always love having you on the show. And yeah, definitely enjoy the summer, enjoy your break, because we all need to replenish ourselves so that we can shine more, even bigger and brighter, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, may continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Theresa.
Thank you.